Hi, everybody. Just waiting till somebody comes in the room. Hello. Let's see. Hi. Happy Friday to you. Um, yeah, I was just going to wait for a couple of people to come in, and then we can get started. I was having a problem trying to get some people onto the Facebook group. I am trying to send invitations to a few people. Right on time, right? I was trying to send some invitations to a few people. Hi, Ida. And some of them I just wasn't able to send, so I don't know what's going on. Not sure what I'm doing wrong or what needs to be changed or what the story is, but I just couldn't do it. So it is what it is. I really didn't. TMI, Sandy. Um, I actually, hi, sis. I actually did not feel well at all after I got off yesterday. It turns out, I was really sick to my stomach. I think it was the food that I ate out. So, yeah, I have a feeling. Hi, Mary. Good to see you. And hi, Sheila. I'm trying to send you. Wait a minute. You needed the invite, right? Hi, Rita. So, again, I'm having a little bit of a problem with everything. I'm feeling a little bit better today, but my stomach was really off. And I had loads of extra food left from yesterday that I would have loved to eat, but I wasn't going to dare take a chance. But my stomach still feels off, and I see that I look absolutely stunning. So it is what it is. I am not in great shape today at all. Yeah, I saw the friend request, and that was it. But yeah, trying to get the group sorted out. I do? Oh, good, good. I'm glad I do because I really didn't get a chance to do anything. The only thing I did for myself today, aside from working on that stuff, I can't tell you, working on that stuff has me going from here to here to here to. I'm on such a roller coaster ride with it. I vacillate between being excited about it and feeling like I want to chuck the whole thing. Hi, Dolores. So it's just frustrating. It really is frustrating. And it makes me feel as if I'm not as smart as I used to be at trying to put things together. So that is not fun. And Dolores, do you bake every single day? I'm just so impressed. Yeah, right. Oh God, my stomach is starting to bother me again. I swear there was something in that food yesterday. I haven't felt this sick to my stomach since I had that stomach bug, which was, what, about 6 weeks ago or more, I think. So definitely not fun, but I don't know. This is absolutely true, Sandy. This is absolutely true. See, the great thing about this for everybody but me, oh, hi, Barbara, glad you did make it. The good thing about it from everybody else's point of view, okay. Oh, I'm going to have to take a look at those lollipops. Not that I need anything like that in my world, truthfully, but it definitely sounds like something that would appeal to me. I am such a sucker for anything sugary. We have a lot, we should really try it at some point. I think maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I guess we should try it. We'll have to make an arrangement for it ahead of time. It's made, oh, I love pretzels with a little bit of sweetness. Oh, that's nice. You're not on Facebook? Yeah, no, we're going to be sticking with this, Mary. It's just, it goes to Messenger. Okay. So we can definitely try to do that. I'm telling you, every now and then I catch a glimpse of myself and I really look like hell. I really do. I look a lot like I feel. And that is not good. That is definitely not good. The only thing that I did today that was of a positive note, aside from actually physically throwing out my garbage, which is a very big deal, I decided to try to take a little bit of a walk. I'm really afraid to walk now because ever since that leg feels like it's going out occasionally, it happens, you know, and it just happens when it does. But when it happens in the house, I'm usually close enough to something to grab onto it. But if I'm in the street, it's a little frightening. Oh, I do take my cane. I absolutely do. But it's still scary. But I did go out after I threw out the garbage. I did take a walk. Now, I know it's not a big deal, and for anybody normal in this world, it would be a very tiny little deal. But I walked past my neighbor's house, past the next house, past the house beyond that to the fourth one down. It was, it was a little bit of a walk. And then I came back because I was going to go past that, but I felt a little bit as if that right leg might be doing something. So I got frightened and I turned around and walked back. But he started a channel. I'll take a look at it later. Um, post it on the Facebook page too. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I never ever thought. Oh, okay. I never thought that I would need a cane. I mean, needing a cane temporarily was something that I could get, but I never thought that I might walk with a cane for the rest of my life. And it's possible. I mean, it's really possible. So yeah, so I'm going to try tomorrow to walk a little bit further and a little bit further the day after that, if I possibly can, because I want to make sure that I don't let myself get housebound. It's just so easy to do. I remember my aunt in the last couple of years that she lived with me before she was in the nursing home, that she she stopped going out. I used to take her with me when I went shopping, and I would take her wherever she needed to go or wanted to go, and I would take her out to eat. And then at one point, she just stopped going. And then I realized that she was really totally housebound then until she wound up in the nursing home. And I don't want to do that to myself. I really don't want to be that person. So I have to think about it and physically force myself to get out and do what I have to do to move on. So it is what it is. Um, yeah. So, wow, it looks like we don't have too many people here tonight. It's a little quiet. But then again, it's a Friday night, so I guess some people are going out and actually living their lives. So that is definitely a possibility. So we will see how it plays out. Is there anything special anybody wants to talk about tonight? Anything new for anybody else? No word on Carol from this end. No, it's really, there has to be something going on. I wish I had a life too, Ida. So we're the losers. No, we're the people who happen to be available tonight. No, as a matter of fact, when you didn't show up last night, I said you were probably out having a life. I think what you should do, Sandy, is in the Facebook page, put a link to the channel so that it'll be easy for people to find it. I think that might make a difference. Hi, Melissa. Nice to see you. Exactly. Exactly. So how is the weather? Has all of the threat passed? The tornado and the storms and all of that? Or is it still a factor? Oh, good. Good. Yeah, that is good news. I just always pray for that. That it just, of course, it's, if it doesn't hit where we are, it hits somewhere else. Yeah, you did say that you were expecting storms, but I didn't really think necessarily that you would either get them or that it would knock your service out. So, yeah, we really, unicorn. What about unicorn logo? The funny thing is, I was looking at unicorn stuff yesterday because I was thinking of doing something with a unicorn. I actually created a pillow today. I think I'm going to like. I think that that might be something fun. And what I did was I created two designs, one on each side of the pillow, because I thought it would be a great way to go. If somebody chose to buy it, they would have two different designs. You didn't get any Indiana, did? Oh, oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Wow. My brother lives in Indiana. I hope nothing was anywhere near him. Yeah, the mugs too. I think the mugs are gonna be good. I have a number of mugs designed already, but this was the first. I think it was the first pillow. No, I've done a few other pillows, but you have sun and 50 plus. Uh, and it was milder today here. It really wasn't bad at all. And it was fine. To be honest with you, last night my leg was hurting a lot, and I thought that we were going to have some kind of issue with the weather, but we didn't. And then the pain went away, so I don't know what that was about. So I guess I'm not as good of a weather person as I thought I was. It's it's not as accurate. Oh God, how nice is that? It was a beautiful day there too. Oh, that's good. That really is good. Yeah, David hasn't really been talking to me about the weather. I guess we've been chatting about other things. It's funny too because I run the stuff that I'm doing past him because I figure that he can probably give me some pretty good advice. Wind and rain for weeks. I know it's been so crazy all over the country with the weather, but I know for California it's really unusual to have to deal with it. David said to me a while ago, he said the great thing about living out there and living out in Arizona was you didn't have to worry about what the weather was going to be like. It just was not a factor. You just did what you did, you lived your life, and you made your plans, and you did not have to factor in. Actually, Barbara, he is liking most of them. He's given me a couple of ideas, and he really loved the one with the coffee and wine. He loved the pillow idea. Yeah, it is in Arizona. And I told you that's just his favorite place the whole month of February. Aw, I know. I know. That's exactly what David said. You just don't think about the weather. You know the weather is going to be nice, so it's whatever else you have to deal with. Yeah, that really is amazing. Uh, yeah, I definitely. I am very affected by the weather. I really am. Give me a beautiful day. I told you, even that silly little thing of having the new light fixture in the kitchen downstairs makes me feel like I am out and it's high noon, and it makes me happy, and it's an amazing thing. It really is an amazing thing. Yeah, I bet that would be great, Mary. It's so hard making a big change. I'm very excited for Gina. I'm really happy for her that she got her house. It does. It does. It makes a great, yeah, it's wonderful having it. It makes me want to be in the room. It makes me want to do things. So that's all good. Oh, passing the cold, that's not fun. That is definitely not fun. And I hate when I get a cold because I always get a cold that lasts for much longer than most people. My allergist told me many years ago, he said it was because my body was allergic to the bacteria or something, and I would wind up getting an allergy reaction that would prolong the symptoms for a long time. So I try to stay away from all that stuff. I find, I mean, aside from this stomach stuff, oh, really? Wow. Yeah. There's a lot of it going around. Yeah. As I said, when I go out now, anytime I walk into a store or any place where people are, I make sure that I have that hand sanitizer in my car. And I should be on probiotics, but I really haven't had an issue with my stomach aside from this. I really think it was the food from the restaurant. This is really funny. This is my friend. No, it's not okay today. I feel still quite lousy. The that is so funny. My friend who decided to sell her house herself, and she's been doing it, and she's in touch with me every single day. It's good to take. When do you take it? What time of day do you take it, Sandy? Because I bought it. I bought those little things that were, I guess, similar to what you have. The one you told me about, the pearls. I bought the one I bought because it was the cheapest one. You take it in the morning. So it's not like you have to take it at a specific time after eating or before or whatever. Anyway, to get back to my friend, she's been really stressing over all this stuff that's been going on with the house and how should she deal with it. And this is terrible and what's happening. Oh, okay. So she just wrote to me now. I honestly don't know how you deal with this all the time. Yeah, it's not as easy as people think it is. There's so much that goes into it. So it is what it is. I just really, really wish that I could get a listing, though. I would just be so happy if I could have that to focus on and also, be able to have, no, believe it or not, she actually listed it. She listed it with one of those places. She didn't get, she, it was a complicated situation. She has given me, I have sold, helped her sell and buy. Okay, I'll tell you why. Um, I have helped her sell and buy 7 houses over the years. She's been wonderful to me. Yes, it would be such an enormous help. It really would. And she wanted to give me the listing on this house as well. Unfortunately, she when she got divorced, her husband decided he hated me and he decided that I was responsible for them getting divorced or for their marriage being in trouble or that I was encouraging her or whatever it was. I guess he didn't factor into it the fact that he had been unfaithful to her and that, there were other issues going on, but both names were on the deed. So because both names were on the deed, he absolutely refused to let her give me the listing. So rather than give it to anybody else, what she did was she put it on multiple listing through one of those brokerage places that does it for $500. Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean it really was so difficult. I remember going into one of his houses years ago and he said to me, I am not selling my house because every time he saw me, his wife wanted to make a move and she would call me in. And I said to him, I'm not making you move. I feel free to stay where you are. I wanted her to be treated well. That's all I wanted. I wanted her to be treated the way she deserved to be treated. And so, and it was funny because their youngest child was about 3 years old. Where is she going? No, she's not buying anything else. So if that's what you're thinking, she is actually going to be moving in with her significant other, and he's a builder. So there's nothing for me at the other end on this either. But again, I had to think about it, and I said, she's been awfully good to me for a lot of years. She has been loyal to me. She has been a good friend over the years, and I had to be the same good friend, even though this was not in my best interest. I really had to do what was in her best interest. So, oh no, 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 don't, no, no, no. It's not that she didn't waste time. This is going on for a long time. She's been in this house for a long time now. I would guess it's got to be, I don't know, maybe 12 years, maybe less. No, it's probably less. It's probably less than that. But they've been apart for a long time. He actually bought a house with his new girlfriend, and he has since sold that house and bought another house with the girlfriend. So, no, she was alone for a long time, and she finally met this guy. She met him online. I'm very happy for her. She's extremely happy. She feels very lucky, and she seems like exactly, and she seems like she's really looking forward to the future, and I think that's wonderful, and I'm happy for her. I really am. She deserves it. But I kind of have to laugh. Yes, she did. She did. I mean, she went out with a lot of ones who weren't so great before she met him, and she's just so happy. And I love that she's happy. Her kids are grown now. I know, I know, she did. I forgot which site she met him on. I'm going to have to ask her again. She said she's going to take me out to eat next week. Yeah, he's much farther out on the island, so he's going to be quite a distance for me. So it's not likely that that's going to be the situation, but you know, again, yeah, it's, when it first happened, I was really hurt, but the truth is, she had no choice. He flatly told her she could not list with me, and he would not sign the contract, and he is on the deed. So there was not a thing that could be done about it. And I have to, once again, I have to say it has to be part of God's plan for me, because everything that seemed like it was happening started not to happen. There's got to be a reason for it. It's got to be that my foot was supposed to be planted on a different road, and I'm just not sure what the road is. I hope it's a road to somewhere. I'm on the yellow brick road, so I just want it to be to a good place where I can hopefully land on my feet and not have my knee buckle. It, you know, it took me a little while to get there, Barbara. I was hurt in the very beginning. Yeah, there's got to be something better. It's going to be hard, and it's going to take time, and I think yeah, I think he was sticking needles in. I know. I know. Yeah. It's hard when it does, and you want it to get better, and you say, but I know there's a greater plan. I know it. I know it. So, I mean, I've been doing real estate for, it's got to be 31, 32 years. It's a long time. And my staging, I loved my staging. It gave me such pleasure. It really did. The instant gratification of it. Yes, absolutely true. And it's gonna be okay somehow. Maybe she can. Maybe she can. There is. And I just, so I try to figure out what is it that I can do? Where can I head? What the problem is when you get old in quotes, I had to laugh. Several years ago, my sister-in-law, yes, several years ago, my sister-in-law had said to me about real estate, because it was one of the times real estate goes through some bad times. And it was one of those times. And she said to me, well, why don't you just get a job? And I had to be careful the way I spoke to her, because, she's my sister-in-law, not my sister. So I didn't want to offend her in any way or anything. But when I spoke to my brother, I said to him, if I were to get a job, first of all, I would not get a job paying anywhere near the money that that I would need to survive. And the other thing was, I said, if I were to go to get a job, they would have to at some point actually see me. And when they saw me, they would have to recognize that I'm the people they're letting go of, because they're older. They're hiring the young people. There's not supposed to be age discrimination and all of that, but there is the reality of where your life stage takes you. I know. I know. They expanded too quickly. And that was it. I think that being much, much smarter this time. It's definitely going to cost them. I mean, she is going to sell the house. They are going to move into some kind of a temporary situation for a couple of years, and it will all be okay. I mean, it's going to be okay, and it's going to be for the better in the end. I just I just pray to God that they don't make any of the same mistakes again. I would think they won't, but hi, Alita. Nice to see you. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the cookies are so good. Everybody loves them. I mean, of all the negative things that Marcus said, I'm absolutely true. Absolutely true, Sandy. Um, yeah, so, oh God, I lost my train of thought again. Oh, about the cookies, that he said that he absolutely loved them. And every time he tasted a new flavor, he said that was his new favorite and this was his second favorite and blah, blah. So the cookies are really, they're good. There's no question about it. And they are still making them. It's just they're not making them in that enormous volume that they were making it in before. And I think it's going to work fine. Yeah. It's really hard. It's really hard. I don't know. Well, I think a lot of it in business has to do with when they hire younger people. Exactly. It's too expensive. And that's what I was going to say. They hire the younger people for a lower wage, usually, than the people who are retiring or being accessed or whatever. Yeah, it's not okay. It's not okay because everybody has preconceived notions. So, what we have to do as we reach those plateaus is we have to find a way to make it different ourselves because they're not going to make it different. Exactly. I know, exactly. And it's really hilarious. It is. It's so silly. I mean, I'm just thrilled about the Sophia Loren thing. I think it's wonderful that she's going to represent that product. Yes. Yeah. I have to tell you, I mean, when I worked in corporate America and I was in a position of hiring people, even back then, I mean, they didn't care about the quality of their work. They just didn't. I had to worry about everybody. So there, yes, there were a few people. It's like with anything else. When I was talking to you about the nursing situation in the nursing homes, there are a few wonderful people who really care about what they're doing and want to do the job right. And then there are a lot of people who don't give a damn. So that's the way it is in every aspect of life. Look how it is, in the way that people do things, the thing that we were talking about yesterday about buying their way. I know, Rita, it is rare, but buying their way into the right schools, that's right. There is no work ethic. They do. They really do. And it should make a difference. And it really doesn't. It's hard. I think the people who live in cultures who value their elders, such as, I mean, for my neighbor in the Indian culture, they take care of the elders in their families. It's just part of what is. I know it used to be. That's wonderful. That is wonderful, Michelle. That really is great. Yeah, absolutely. I think the ideal thing is to have a mix because everybody has something to teach each other. We all have things to share. We all have value to share with each other. And it's too bad that the world at large does not does not have that value. It kind of reminds me of when they used to talk about taking the elders and exactly in China, yeah, where they were just the family. It was exactly that, where they used to say that they would take the elders and put them out. I think that that's true partially, Sheila, at a startup. Yes, yes. I think I think that's partially true, Sheila, but I think it's also true that a lot of younger people, and I'm not talking about people of our age or your age who have parents and the younger generation put them on an ice floe exactly and just send them out to their, their death. And I sometimes feel like that's the way it is, except minus the ice flow. But um it is what it is. So yeah, but the other thing I was going to say, Sheila, is that I think part of it has to do with the fact that a lot of people, a lot of younger people, just don't have that same feeling. Yeah, they don't have the same feeling. Exactly. They love you. Yes, they love you. And that's another thing, and that's something I had to come to grips with. And that's a hard thing to come to grips with, but it's something that I think is really important for everybody of every age. And that is that the people in our lives love us, the ones who do, but they love us in the capacity with which they can love us, or with the ability that they have to love us. And they love us in the way that they can. It is not necessarily loving us in the way that we need to be loved. But if you are always craving that love, as long as you're doing for them, that's also true. That is absolutely true. But not, well, that's not fair either. That's not true of all of them. And then again, some of them function on a level of obligation and feeling guilty. Case in point, my roommate at the rehab, her son was there every single day that he was able to be there. Yes, it's a me world. Exactly. They have to do it in a way that's convenient for them. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Swell. Yeah. Yeah. It's true. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's a harsh reality for us. And I think the thing is, until we get here, until we get to this point, it's all semantics. It's just words. It doesn't have, there's no meaning behind the words because we haven't experienced the pain, the loneliness, the fear, the uncertainty, all of the things that come into play. Exactly. You can't do that. You really can't do that. And I always think of my friend Mary. Yes, that's absolutely true too. My friend Mary desperately wanted children, and that was not the way her life played out. She married late. On her honeymoon, her husband had cancer. She took care of him for 2 years until he died, and it was horrible. Oh, Massimo clothing. So, um, she always used to wish that she had a child. But she said later in life, as she saw all of us with our adult children, she said maybe it wasn't so terrible after all that she didn't have children because everybody that she knew who had children at that stage had issues and had problems. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, until my mother and then my aunt died, I was never alone because there was all the family. I was brought up in a family where it was all about family. Yeah, right. No, the kids knew. But again, I cannot blame the kids. I cannot blame the kids. It trickles down. It trickles down from the parents. The parents wanted to be able to say, my child is going to, or my child went to. No, no matter how they got there, by hook or by crook. Family takes care of family, absolutely. It would never have occurred to me in a million years. Absolutely true, Susan. I mean, I remember when I was younger and I was still healthy. Well, who says they're doing great grades? If you can buy your way through, there are people who buy their way through life in every aspect of life. It is done right here on YouTube with the people who bought their way to bigger channels. People do it everywhere. There are people who will abuse the system because they want to get ahead at any cost, and they will do whatever it takes to get there because they really believe on some level that the rules are for other people. Yes, yeah, and that's just the way it goes. I mean, I did the same thing. I had my mother here with me until she died, and my aunt, who had lived with my mother, went down to Florida to stay with her brother. And when he died, she came back and she stayed with me. I took care of my aunt. People said to me that there were people who wouldn't do it for a mother. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it goes on everywhere. I wonder, well, I don't know. I always thought it did, Susan, until I hear from a lot of people who have daughters who have had issues with their daughters as well. I remember when David and Michelle were first married, those first few years, I remember being somewhere with the kids and with her mother. And I remember her mother saying to me, if anything ever happens to you, don't think, I know, um, you know, oh, darn it, lost it again. Yeah, and that happens with a lot of people. So it doesn't necessarily seem to make a difference. My friend Linda has a challenging relationship with her daughter, and her other daughter is away. So even though she loves her, it's not the kind of relationship. It's not the closeness. And there were so many times in the past when I would be there for David when he went through some tough times, and she would say to me, "Why do you do that? Why do you do that?" And it was like, "What do you mean? How could I not do that? How could I not?" Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that could be clearly, there's got to be some jealousy there, that, feeling that you're closer to the other daughter or whatever. And there are always issues. There are just always issues. And sometimes some people, well, I can't even say that people got lucky per se, because it was just part of what was meant to be the way they lived their life. And some people have wonderful relationships with their children and do have the children who care enough to be there and really support them in every way there is. Every time I think of my neighbor, her mother was so blessed to have that relationship. Yes, that's true too, Susan. Yeah, it's hard. But you can never tell. Exactly. You will always be mom. That's true. And it's just, they have their own perceptions. Everybody's perception is their reality because as you see it, that's the way it is for that person. So it's hard no matter what we say, hi, Pat, no matter what we say that the absolute reality is of a situation, it's really not. It's as it's perceived by each person. So it makes it harder. It really makes it harder. Yeah, relationships are tough. They are really tough. And to have unconditional love, that we get from our pets. You got 1,000 subs? Good for you. Exactly. I'm sure you were happy. Congratulations. That's wonderful news for you. Their perception is their reality. I know. I know. It's very, very exciting. Good for you. Yeah, I was actually told, I thought this was hilarious. I was told by Octoly that I don't even remember when I had, I guess I applied or something. Maybe they had something come across the screen that suggested it. And they said that I don't qualify because only channels that are active and growing, they said you have to have 1,000 subscribers. Well, I have closer to 1,900 at this point, and that you have to have 1,000 views on your videos by 30 days and all of that. Oh, good for you. Good for you. That's great. Um, so, again, it kind of made me smile, and I said, okay, it's all in the perception even there. Some people perceive that you have something of value that you can give or share, or that you can do something for them, and some people don't think so. So, look, not everybody loves everybody. That's the truth of the world. And it is what it is. And as a therapist that I went to many, many years ago said to me, because he said to me, you want to be loved by everybody. And he said to me, tell me something. He said, do you like everybody? And I had to kind of stop and think about it for a minute. And I said, no. I said, there are people that are very challenging to like. And it really made it change for me because, yeah, no matter what you do, you can turn yourself into a pretzel and not everybody is going to like you because they're going to perceive you in whatever way they perceive you. And everything that goes into, hi, Iris, everything that goes into their perception of you has to do with everything in their lives from the time that they were little that makes them react to people in the way that they do. So it has less to do with you than it has to do with them. God, it's getting philosophical tonight. But it is what it is. We can only do our part in any relationship. But I have to tell you now, all that time, if you recall, after I came home and I was so frightened. Yeah, I know. I know, but it's really hard when you stop and think about it, Melissa. Yeah, not everybody is going to like you no matter what. No matter what. Anyway, what I started to say was when I first came home from rehab and I was so frightened. I was so frightened of being alone in this house and thinking I could just collapse on the floor, nobody would know. And yeah, it is what it is. Hence the shirt. this wise old owl doesn't give a hoot. So you kind of have to do that a little bit, even if it's just to protect yourself from the barbs. And if there are any barbs in the room, I don't mean you. But you have to protect yourself because it can be so hurtful. It really can. I know, but that's really hard to do, Mary, isn't it? To expect nothing. You just you just really you need to do the best you can with what you were given. It is what it is. Absolutely, you're right. I should do a shirt like that. I should. But yeah, I'm actually about to place what do they call it? A sample order myself of a couple of things so I can see what they look like. Yeah. Yeah. That's what you have to do. Again, it's all about protect it's like having scar tissue around your heart. And you really need to have something that's not going to let anything else penetrate that's going to draw blood because you don't want to be masochistic. You want to get through this life in the best way that you can. Exactly. It is. And you need to do that. But I'm going to get back to what I was saying before about when I first came home and I was so frightened and I was so upset after a while that exactly that David did not come here when he had told me that he was going to, and I so desperately needed to see him and to spend time with him. I missed the last part of that. Mm, yep, yeah, but I realized only when they were in real trouble that they were in trouble and he just didn't tell me. So I didn't have the whole story. And I was feeling as if he just didn't care enough to be here, when the truth was that he was dealing with his own problems and his own demons. And I was looking at it only from my perspective. And the truth is, it's always more than one perspective. Any interaction between people, there's always the other side of it. And then there's the more objective side that neither one of us see because we are what we are. What is that? I have an arrow. Oh, okay. I did need him. I absolutely did need him. But I realized at that point they probably just didn't. What is this arrow? It's. What the heck? Uh huh. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I mean, look, it would have been nice, but I don't think, yeah, I, I, I don't think, there's no question about it. There is no question about it. Yeah, I always, always remember the time I did. I came home scared, and I didn't think I could live through it. I really physically didn't think I could live through it. But it kind of shows you what we're made of. He probably did, Kathy, and I'm sure he just didn't want to do it. And then again, David is the one thing I think that Marcus Lemonis got right about David was that he is an optimist. He would have, yeah, and he had said to me if I had lived near him, It was hard. It was really hard. I'm sure he did. I know. Yeah, but so much of that time also, Sheila, how much did I lean on you? I really did. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, it was, when I think back, it was a truly terrifying time. It really was. But it also, it taught me all of the most painful things of my life, for all of us. There are such good lessons in it if we can extract the lesson and give up those feelings. That's absolutely true too, Sandy. I did it on my own. I did. I mean, with a lot of help. Definitely with a lot of help. Yeah. I mean, it was, I had no choice. You know, it's like when you're sitting there, when people told me I was so brave about the surgery and what I went, there was no choice. Believe me, if there were a choice, that wouldn't have been the choice I would have made. But there was none. So I had to accept the reality of my life and I had to deal with it. Yes, and I need to really keep that in mind sometimes because I feel, I don't know, I'm in a scary place and I need to really remember all the good things that have happened because there have been many and I'm grateful for every single one of them. Yeah, it's funny. I have been tempted occasionally to look back and watch one of my older videos, and I don't think I could do it. Not at this point. I don't think I'm there. I think if ever I get to a place where I am far removed from this, I might want to do it, but it would be very difficult to do right now because it's too close. It's too raw. It's too fresh. Yeah. That's the truth of it, Melissa. Yes. Yes. No, Sylvia, you're right. I understand it. I cannot count on him. And I can, well, yes and no. I can count on him to be there to talk to me. I can count on him to go over things with me, to let me know that I am loved by him in the way in which he is capable of doing it. That's the part of it. That's the tough lesson. And that's just not my lesson. That's everybody's lesson. That we have to accept the love that we get from anybody that we get it from, however they give it to us, because it's the only way they can give it to us. Let me give you another example. Let's take Linda. He had said that he would, but I don't know now if he was be able to do it. He had said that he would. He also told me that he was going to be here several times in the fall to help me get rid of things in the house. Every single thing that I got rid of, that's my book. Yeah, love is a gift. It is. Oh, Melissa, that's a really good thought. That's a really good thought. I'm so happy to hear that, Donna. I feel blessed that I can play any role. So I'm grateful for that. Any help that I can give is a gift for me. It really is. So yeah, I'm happy that you have that, the lessons on love. And just you know, it's the expectation of love, it's the fairy tale. It's the happy ending. It's the being, I'm so happy. I really am so happy. I'm just, as I say, I'm grateful that I felt, as I say, when I first started the journey, yeah, it was Linda, thank you. Love is grand, but yes, yes, that's great. That really is great. Yeah, with Linda, talking about about love and caring and whatever. When Linda first found out that I was so sick, Linda finds it very hard to show emotion. It's part of who she is. For whatever reason, whatever she went through in her perception of it as a child, um, the outside world might have a totally different perception. We all have what ifs, we do. But whatever that, she finds it very hard to show emotion. She can't do it. She can't risk that, or she doesn't have the wherewithal. So when I got sick, she grabbed me at one point and she hugged me. That was astounding for Linda. Linda was there for me, as you all know, through all of my treatment, through to the day that I went into the hospital. Oh, hi, Ange. So from the day that I went into the hospital, it was a different Linda. Well, I shouldn't say that. She was afraid I was not going to survive the surgery. She was terrified. When I survived the surgery, we did talk on the phone, and then everything was different. And she told me when I was getting ready to, she told me she was not going to come visit me much at rehab. She came more than I think she expected to, but it was not much. And I was grateful for whatever it was because I was alone so much of the time. And she said to me when I was getting ready to go home, she said, "You're not going to see a lot of me. I won't be coming over a lot." And she was telling the truth. She hardly ever came over. The first few days, I begged her if she would stay with me for a few hours because I was terrified. And she did. And begging is so not who I am. I would rather tough it out than beg for something. But I did. And she stayed with me a few times, but you could tell she couldn't wait to get out of here. And yeah. But the reason I'm bringing up, my point is that she loves me in the only way you got kicked out. She loves me in the only way that she knows how to. And I cannot expect her to give me what I need when she does not have the wherewithal to give that, because that's not who she is. So if I do not accept her exactly as she is, then what kind of love do I have in return? Again, it's not the fairy tale. She had a phobia. Yes, she had a phobia about the hospital. She had a phobia about being, I mean, when she took me in, when I had to go back into Memorial, my friend Linda, we were just talking about love and about how the expectations we have about the way people should love us and the way that we need to. Yes. Yeah, I really do have to write that book. Yeah. It's the absolute truth. I mean, this is what it is. And I think we harm ourselves more. Her mother died, unfortunately, Carol. Her mother passed away last week. Yeah. Um, it was, you, you don't get the fairy tale ending. Most of us, even the ones who do, don't, if that makes any sense. Because when you look at somebody else's life out there and you think, oh my God, it's so incredible, there are things we don't know about it that are not incredible at all. So yeah, I felt terrible for her. She really had a hard time at the end, but my neighbor is, I mean, she is saintly. She really is. She was there for her mother from sunup to late at night every single day. It's just, we have to we have to stop doing ourselves a disservice by not accepting what people have to give us rather than expecting what we need them to give us. Exactly. You don't. You don't know. So, yeah, I love that saying. Yeah, I love that saying. And you just don't know, even when people are being nasty, or once again, they're not necessarily being nasty. Our perception is that they have been nasty. Yes, yes. And people go through some really, really tough times. But we can make it a little bit easier on ourselves, or we can make it a whole lot harder on ourselves, depending upon, we all have our little pictures. I took the EST training back in the 1970s. That was EST. It was the Earhart Seminar Training. I don't know if anybody else remembers hearing about it or did hear about it. But it was this very tough kind of training where you spent a couple of weekends sleep deprived, bathroom deprived, food deprived, trying to get to a lot of your inner stuff. And hi, Gina. Yeah, I did take it, and it was tough. The funny thing is, I started taking it. The first group I was in, Jerry Stiller was in my group, but I had to. Yes, congrats! I'm so happy for you with the house. That's exciting. Now just make it your own and just create some really happy memories there. So that is wonderful. Yes, and he was such a nice guy. He really was. But it was a very intense training, and what it tried to do was to get to the, your really innermost hangups. One of the things that they taught, and I found it really interesting because it was true, was that so much of what we experience as adults has nothing to do with what's going on today. It has to do with the very first time we felt the same trauma that the feeling that gets engendered today brings out. Oh, oh, Gina. Oh, take care, Sheila. Have a good night. I'm chewing your ear off tonight. Sorry. So what they were saying was that let's say there's an argument between family members. The argument really has not to do with what happened. No more hard-boiled eggs, right? I have to tell you, I thought about that the other day. What? Um, Now I totally forgot everything. Somebody bring me back home. Totally. Oh, hi, Patty. Feel free to interrupt. This is a place where interruptions are welcome. Oh, the training. So, when by really understanding that on a deep level, it makes you realize once what they said was, one person in the interaction, there will be a stimulus. The other person in the interaction has a response to that stimulus. The stimulus and the response are old feelings, so that when an old feeling is triggered, the same response will happen today that would have happened when you were 9 years old. So it was that kind of thing. Okay. No, I don't know what that's about. And that they said the only way you could stop those old feelings from coming back every single time somebody hurts you, it's going to trigger an old hurt and it's going to make you react the way that you did. It really does make sense. And the way to deal with it, they were saying back then, was that one person in the interaction has to stop reacting. Because if you stop reacting in the way that each of you has been used to reacting in that given situation, that game can no longer work because one person has stopped playing. And it really is interesting because it definitely works. And it changed an awful lot for me. It really changed an awful lot for me. It was beneficial for me. And it's funny because they did say, because I had been seeing somebody and I was, it was a tough relationship and there were lots of problems and I was trying to learn how to deal with it. Yeah, you have to do it. And you, lost where I was going again. I'm sorry. That's funny. That is funny. That is really, that's such a great, yes, but that really is great. I know. And then people know that you're not going to leave when you say you're going to leave. Kids know it. When you say to a kid, if you don't stop that, XYZ is going to happen, but they know that XYZ never does happen, then they know that that doesn't mean anything. Or just wait till your father gets home. That doesn't mean anything. If when father gets home, he's not going to deal with it, and they know that after a while. So they know that it's just, kids are smarter than we are. They really are. But yeah, but the relationship was a great difficulty for me at the time, and I was in a lot of pain, and I used to cry a lot from it. And I remember, now he says you left him. You finally left him. So what happened at the time was they had said, you, talking to all of us because there were like 300 people in the room, they had said that you may have come here to cure a cold, and you may in fact walk out of here having cured pneumonia. And it really was true. It didn't do anything about the relationship, but it changed so many other things for me. I'll give you an example. Exactly. Yeah. It's just that whatever it is that you say that you're going to do, you have to follow through with, because if you don't, the words don't mean anything. They don't carry weight. It's like waving a paper bag at somebody. There's nothing to it. So, but I was going somewhere else and I totally messed that one up too. You don't really want to forget the past, though. You don't. You want to be able to understand the past enough so that you don't have to repeat it. Because that which we don't learn from, we repeat over and over and over again. So that's the goal. The goal is to not do it. Oh, thank you. The other ways that I benefited from the training. I had this thing back then. If I was on a highway and I was trapped in absolutely dead stop traffic for a while, I would start to get very anxious, and I would start to really hyperventilate a little bit sometimes if it lasted a very long time because I felt trapped. One of the things that I learned in the training was that when you are in a situation that is stressful for you, you have to train your brain. Now, I'm going to show you how long ago this training was based upon what I'm going to say now. That they said you have to train your brain to go from a 78 speed record, haha, down to a 33 and a third. So you have to slow it down. And through that training, I absolutely did that. And the first several times after that, that I got stuck in traffic, yes. Um, but the first few times I got stuck in traffic, I watched a couple of times as other cars backed up, getting onto the grassy area, trying to back off the highway, doing all kinds of things that showed how stressed they were. And I had to smile at myself, saying, oh, well, this too shall pass. And it no longer was an issue for me. So it's funny. You just don't know what benefits you're going to get from things sometimes. It's kind of like the side effects of something that are beneficial rather than detrimental to us. So that is my story for tonight. So, anything anybody else wants to talk about? It wasn't breathing exercises. It was just thinking about it. It was really just stopping and thinking about it and saying, wait a minute. I think part of it for me, though, it was probably shortly after that that I started meditating. The fact that I haven't gotten back to it is really my fault. I really need to do that. I bet everything in my life would start to feel better, go better from a logical point of view. Yeah. And it's hard to be logical when you are reacting strictly on emotion. When emotion takes over, everything else flies out the window because the adrenaline starts to flow, and you are really not able to stop and think because it's bypassing that. It's now at a different level. Yes. Yeah. Kathy, hopefully it does, and for some it will. Yes. That happens a lot. I mean, it happens to me a lot too, Gina. It is very hard, and when you're sensitive, but yeah, but you have to rebuild that yourself, or you have to be responsible for that yourself. Exactly. You don't make those decisions with your intellect. And once you give that up, you're not going to make the right decisions necessarily. Yeah. No, no, you can't. There were lessons in it for you, and nobody is responsible for your well-being from the standpoint of your emotional well-being. Yes, that's absolutely true. But sometimes, Gina, the thing that needs to be fixed is us. Sometimes we're so willing and ready to reach out to fix everybody else that we forget to fix ourselves. And until we fix ourselves, you really don't have enough to do a lot of the other stuff because you're in that morass and you really cannot get out of your own way sometimes. You need to it's it's like that saying where they say take care of yourself first. Am I giving you a headache? I think maybe it's time for me to stop this today. I think it's too heavy. Um, but yeah, no, it's really hard. And what I was going to say before about being sensitive, one of the things that I needed to learn because I'm very sensitive. And one of the things that I had to realize was that if my sensitivity, mm, yeah, my sensitivity, if it did not reach out to encompass other people's sensitivity also, then I was being really selfish. And that's a hard one. Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's very easy to just say that way, but yeah, I think I think you just you need to we all just need to it is. It is helpful to talk because what happens is it is true she does do that. Well, which part, Anne? Gina just got a house. That's one thing, so that's great. And the rest of it she can tell you. Yeah. But those of us who are sensitive and we get our feelings hurt very easily, yeah, we have to recognize that's exactly it. That's exactly it. Because and for me, as I say right now, I'm on a roller coaster. My feelings are so on the edge. Yeah, but your divorce was, did you say finalized 2 weeks ago? Come on, that's no time at all. You need time. You really need time. Why don't you look at it this way? It was finalized 2 weeks ago, and you've already gotten a new house. Yippee! That's good for you. We do have our pity parties. Absolutely. We do. I think the thing is to have the pity party, don't wallow in it, and then just move on. You have to pick yourself up and dust yourself off. I mean, I was one of those kids when I hated playing the game um, musical chairs because I was never aggressive enough to try to push somebody else out of a chair. But I wound up on the floor more times than I care to imagine because somebody else had no problem shoving me onto the floor. You're a wallower. It's easy to wallow, and sometimes we feel as if we need to do that. But yeah, yeah, yeah. So we are all who we are based upon every tiny little bit of information that has been filed into our memory banks, which fortunately for a lot of us, low self-esteem. Did you have so you had the low self-esteem when you were young? Because I think sometimes when we have low self-esteem, that's why we wind up with people who take advantage because we don't think we're good enough for the ones who are better than that. We're going to be works in progress even after we leave this. We shuffle off this mortal coil. We are works in progress. Yep, that's what we were. And it's so nice to have people to share it with and to know that all the feelings that we have and all the terrors that we have and all the feelings we have about ourselves, about not being good enough or not being strong enough or not being there enough or whatever, is so common. And so many people, it is. It is wonderful. It is really wonderful. So I'm very happy to be part of this group and to know that having each other is making a difference in everybody's life. And I think that's great. Yes. Yeah. Yep. A stroll down memory lane. Some of it good, some of it clutter. And so it goes. It is none of it easy. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm going to wrap it up for tonight unless anybody has anything else. Oh, the clutter is really important to us. Without the clutter, we would have nothing that we needed to sweep out and learn about. What? 48 peas in a pod. I love it. We're here and looking forward. We have to do that. And the truth is, there's good stuff to look forward to. You know, not all of it is going to be good, and not all of it is ever good. But even in the worst of it, there is good, if that makes any sense at all. Really is. I have learned so much and interacted with so many wonderful people since I went through the very, very worst time of my life. And in it all, I found strength and I found support and I found me. So it's all good. On that note, my friends, have a wonderful night. I'm not seeing messages again. I have 55 on when we all live together, and wouldn't that be nice? Yeah. Yep. Yes. Good night, owls. Have a one. Sandy, I did the Night Owls t-shirts. One of them will be up on. Let me just show you the other one quickly, um, so that you can see it because you weren't on last night. So if you bear with me for a minute, this is one. PJ party, absolutely. Take care, you too. Okay. Good night, everybody. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Ange, I told you the stuff is going to be available in the $99.99, right? No, I think 20. It's 20 something. I don't remember exactly what. Um, okay. But I will have stuff available in the UK as soon as the shop is open. I can't do it, unfortunately, through Amazon. All right. Take care, and I will see you soon.